December 16, 1996. A 9 months pregnant 12-year-old says goodnight to her family, and disappears forever. But this isn't a runaway story, this is something far more sinister. Celina Mays left behind every possession she owned, yet somehow vanished without a trace from her own bedroom. Neither she nor her unborn baby have ever been found. Her family attended the Gospel of Christ ministry, a church expelled in 1991 for authoritarian leadership, where the pastor allegedly controlled every aspect of their lives. Could this religious organization hold the key to Celina's disappearance? But first, we need to understand what happened during those final 8 hours before Celina disappeared. The perfect family evening that wasn't Sunday, December 15, 1996. Picture the Mays household in Willingboro, New Jersey, settling into their evening routine. The family had just returned from their weekly church service at the Gospel of Christ ministry. Celina sat in the living room with her stepmother Yvette, her father CJ, and her 4-year-old stepsister Nori. 9 months pregnant at just 12 years old, Celina moved carefully as she joined her family for what seemed like any other quiet Sunday night. The house felt warm and safe. CJ served everyone bowls of ice cream, a simple family tradition that made the winter evening feel cozy. Celina chatted with Yvette about ordinary things while they ate. Nothing seemed unusual about her behavior, she wasn't acting nervous or scared, and didn't appear to be planning anything dramatic. But as the evening wound down around 11 p.m. and everyone prepared for bed, Celina said something that would haunt Yvette forever. "Thanks for everything," Celina told her stepmother as they said goodnight. At the time, Yvette thought it was just a sweet gesture from a grateful child. Now those words feel like a carefully planned farewell. Did Celina know something was about to happen? Was she trying to say goodbye without raising suspicion? The timing of those words creates a chill that runs deeper than coincidence. The family went to bed, with Celina retreating to her bedroom. CJ checked on her before heading to his own room, just like he did every night. Celina appeared to be sleeping peacefully under her covers. The house grew quiet. Everyone felt secure knowing that tomorrow would bring another ordinary Monday. Morning arrived with 4-year-old Nori's excited voice calling out to wake up her big sister. The little girl bounced into Celina's room, ready to start another day of playing together. But when Nori tried to rouse Celina from her bed, pulling back the covers, she discovered something terrifying. The figure under the blankets wasn't her sister at all. Someone had arranged pillows to create the illusion of a sleeping person. The staged scene reveals a disturbing level of calculation. Whoever orchestrated Celina's disappearance wanted the family to sleep through the night without checking on her. They needed those crucial 8 hours to execute their plan. The pillow arrangement wasn't sloppy or rushed. It was carefully constructed to fool anyone who might glance into the room. This detail suggests someone who understood the family's nighttime routines perfectly. Yvette and CJ frantically searched the house, calling Celina's name and checking every room, closet, and hiding spot. They examined the windows and doors, looking for signs of forced entry or struggle. Nothing appeared disturbed. No broken locks, no jimmied windows, no evidence that someone had broken into their home. The house remained secure, yet their daughter had somehow vanished from inside it. The absence of any struggle marks creates another puzzle piece. Celina was 9 months pregnant and due for a C-section in just 2 weeks. She couldn't move quickly or quietly in her condition. If someone had forced her to leave against her will, there should have been signs of resistance or commotion. But the house showed no evidence of violence or disturbance. This suggests Celina either left willingly with someone she trusted, or she was removed by someone with complete control over the situation. Here's where things get really interesting. The person who arranged those pillows knew exactly how the family operated. They understood when everyone went to bed, who checked on whom, and how long they could work without detection. This wasn't a random stranger who happened to target the Mays family. This was someone with intimate knowledge of their home, their habits, and their trust. But what if Celina suspected something was going to happen? Her final words to Yvette take on new meaning when you consider the timing. "Thanks for everything" sounds like gratitude, but it also sounds like closure. Could Celina have known this would be her last night with her family? Was she trying to express love without creating alarm? The perfectness of that final evening now feels orchestrated. The normal church service, the family ice cream, the peaceful bedtime routine, it all created an atmosphere of safety and routine. No one suspected that within hours, Celina would be gone forever. This wasn't a spontaneous decision, or a crime of opportunity. Someone planned Celina's removal with meticulous attention to detail, ensuring the family would discover her absence only after it was too late to prevent it. But the mystery deepens when you consider what Celina left behind. The impossible vanishing act. Every single item Celina owned told the same impossible story. Her purse sat untouched on her dresser with whatever small amount of money a 12-year-old might have saved. Her beloved CD player, the kind of treasure any kid in 1996 would guard fiercely, lay abandoned beside her bed. Most telling of all, her winter coat hung in the closet while December temperatures outside hovered near freezing. Investigators immediately recognized the exposure risk. How could a heavily pregnant child survive even hours in winter weather without proper clothing? The logistics of this disappearance create a nightmare scenario for anyone trying to understand what happened. Celina had no identification, no money, and no way to contact anyone for help. She essentially vanished into the night with absolutely nothing to sustain herself. The physical impossibility of her situation defies every logical explanation for how someone could simply disappear. But what if we consider the medical reality of Celina's condition? At 9 months pregnant, she was just 2 weeks away from her scheduled C-section delivery. Her body had reached the point where normal movement became difficult and painful. Running away would have required her to walk considerable distances while carrying the full weight of pregnancy. The physical strain alone makes this scenario nearly impossible to believe. The medical urgency factor eliminates most runaway theories completely. Celina needed immediate access to specialized medical care for her delivery. Authorities checked every local hospital, expecting to find records of a C-section admission for a 12-year-old. They found nothing. A pregnant child couldn't simply show up at any medical facility without triggering a massive investigation. Medical professionals would have asked questions about her age, her pregnancy, and her circumstances. These inquiries would have created a paper trail that investigators could have followed. Yet no such trail has ever been discovered. The investigation faced a significant obstacle when a judge denied police a search warrant for the Mays home. The judge cited potential bias, treating the family as victims rather than suspects based on their claims of unfair questioning. This denial hampered the collection of physical evidence that could have provided crucial clues about Celina's disappearance. Without access to search the house thoroughly, investigators lost precious opportunities to gather forensic evidence. Here's where things get really interesting. The complete absence of physical evidence despite extensive searches tells its own story. The Willingboro Police Department has followed over 250 leads throughout the years. They've used advanced technology and age progression techniques. They've coordinated with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Still, they've found nothing. No clothing, no personal items, no trace of where Celina might have gone. Could it be possible that someone planned this disappearance so carefully that they eliminated every trace of evidence? The pattern suggests someone with intimate knowledge of the house understood exactly what needed to be removed or hidden. They knew which items would raise suspicions and which could be left behind to maintain the illusion of a spontaneous departure. Consider this alternative: what if Celina didn't leave voluntarily at all? The absence of any struggle or forced entry suggests she trusted whoever came for her. She might have believed she was going somewhere safe, somewhere that would help her with her pregnancy. This trust would explain why she didn't fight back or try to alert her family. The timing of her disappearance creates another puzzle piece. Why remove Celina just 2 weeks before her delivery date? Was someone trying to prevent her from giving birth in a hospital where medical records would be created? Did they need to control the circumstances of the delivery for reasons we can't yet understand? The truth might be stranger than fiction, but the evidence points toward one unavoidable conclusion. Someone with complete access to the Mays household executed a carefully planned removal of Celina and her unborn child. They possessed both the knowledge and the power to make a pregnant 12-year-old disappear without leaving a single trace behind. But who had that level of control over this family's life? The church that controlled everything. The Gospel of Christ ministry operated as more than just a place of worship for the Mays family. This church controlled every aspect of their existence. Coretta Smith, Celina's own aunt, served as pastor and wielded complete authority over every family decision. She decided who could marry whom. She controlled their jobs. She even dictated how they disciplined their children. The church's grip extended into the most intimate details of members' lives. Adults worked directly for the church while children were homeschooled through church programs. This arrangement isolated members from outside influences while making them completely dependent on the organization for their livelihood, education, and social connections. Members were actively discouraged from forming relationships outside the church community, creating a closed system where Smith's word became absolute law. In 1991, Christ Gospel Ministries International expelled Smith's church after investigating claims of her authoritarian leadership style and questionable financial management practices. Barbara Young, an attorney for the parent organization, stated that Smith's leadership philosophy was incompatible with their policies. Getting kicked out of your own religious denomination takes serious misconduct. Yet Smith continued operating her church independently, maintaining the same iron grip over her followers. Nori Mays, Celina's stepsister, later described the Gospel of Christ ministries as operating much like a cult. She said Smith controlled her parents' marriage and dictated the lives of everyone and their children. Most telling of all, Nori revealed that her parents were afraid to act against the church. This fear highlights the power dynamics that made resistance nearly impossible within Smith's organization. Celina's pregnancy created an explosive crisis for this controlling environment. A 12-year-old's pregnancy raised uncomfortable questions about supervision, protection, and moral authority within the church community. Smith had built her reputation on strict moral standards and family values. Celina's situation threatened to expose failures in the very system Smith claimed to perfect. The church's opposition to abortion intensified the pressure surrounding Celina's condition. Her family objected to abortion because of their faith, which created a medical and social dilemma with no easy solutions. The pregnancy couldn't be terminated according to their beliefs, yet allowing a 12-year-old to give birth would generate scrutiny from social services, medical professionals, and law enforcement. Every option threatened to expose the church to outside investigation. The family dynamics became twisted when religious authority merged with family relationships. Smith wasn't just Celina's pastor demanding obedience. She was also her aunt, someone who should have protected her. This dual role created a conflict of interest where family loyalty mixed with religious submission, making it nearly impossible for family members to challenge her decisions or seek help from outside authorities. After Celina disappeared, church members became completely uncooperative with police investigations. Smith declined multiple requests to search both the church property in Mount Holly and the Mays home. Other members refused to answer questions or provide information that might help locate Celina. This coordinated silence suggests they were protecting something more significant than just their privacy. The pattern of non-cooperation reveals organized resistance to the investigation. Individual church members might naturally feel nervous talking to police, but this level of collective refusal indicates direction from leadership. Smith's followers weren't just exercising their right to remain silent. They were actively obstructing efforts to find a missing pregnant child. The church's authoritarian structure made such coordination possible. When Smith controlled every aspect of members' lives, she could ensure their compliance even in extreme situations. The same system that dictated their marriages and careers could also silence them during a criminal investigation. Members who depended on the church for employment, housing, and social connections couldn't afford to disobey their leaders' instructions. But there's another explosive element to this case that could explain why someone might have wanted Celina to disappear forever. The identity of her unborn child's father remains one of the most dangerous secrets in this entire mystery. The father who never was someone committed the perfect crime to hide the identity of a baby's father. After 25 years of investigation, police still don't know who got a 12-year-old girl pregnant. This missing piece of information didn't just complicate the search for Celina. It created a powder keg of accusations that tore her family apart and may have provided the motive for her disappearance. From the moment Celina vanished, family members claimed they had no idea who the father was. But this convenient ignorance felt suspicious to investigators. How does a 12-year-old become 9 months pregnant without anyone in her household knowing who was responsible? The silence surrounding this question created dangerous speculation that spread like wildfire through both sides of Celina's family. C.J. Mays told police that Celina had identified the father as a 16-year-old boy who wasn't a member of their church. But Celina herself refused to provide any name or identifying details beyond this vague description. Investigators could never verify this information independently. No contact was made with this mysterious teenager. The detail felt almost too convenient, like something designed to deflect attention rather than provide real answers. This lack of concrete information left a critical gap that allowed rumors to flourish unchecked. Accusations and counter-accusations flew between the two sides of Celina's family, with each side pointing fingers at the other regarding the father's identity and potential involvement in her disappearance. Both Celina's maternal and paternal families accused each other of hiding her or moving her to Florida or Michigan. The maternal side suspected the paternal family of concealing crucial information. The paternal side fired back with their own theories about who might be protecting the real father. This coordinated finger-pointing created chaos that hindered the investigation from its earliest stages. The lack of cooperation between family members fueled suspicion that someone was deliberately concealing the father's identity. But what if that concealment wasn't about protecting a teenage boy? The real father's identity might have been so explosive that revealing it would have destroyed the church's credibility and exposed criminal behavior within their religious community. Consider this possibility: the unknown father held a position of power or respect within the Gospel of Christ ministry. The church controlled every aspect of the Mays family's life. If a church leader or respected member had impregnated a 12-year-old girl, the scandal would have shattered the organization's image completely. This scenario creates a motive powerful enough to justify extreme measures to prevent exposure. The timing of Celina's disappearance supports this theory. With delivery just 2 weeks away, someone needed to act quickly before hospital records documented the birth. Medical professionals would have asked questions about the father's identity. Social services would have launched investigations. These inquiries could have exposed secrets that certain people were willing to kill to protect. C.J. Mays took extraordinary steps to clear his own name, providing medical documentation to prove he had undergone a vasectomy years before Celina's disappearance. This desperate attempt to dispel rumors about his involvement shows how intense the speculation became. A grieving father shouldn't have needed to provide medical records to prove his innocence, yet the circumstances forced him into this humiliating position. The family's church opposed abortion, which meant Celina had to carry the pregnancy to term regardless of the circumstances. This religious stance may have influenced family decisions and created additional pressure to hide the father's identity. If the pregnancy resulted from abuse or exploitation within their religious community, admitting the truth would have challenged everything they believed about their faith and their leaders. The evidence suggests that identifying the baby's father would have revealed secrets devastating enough to justify making a pregnant child vanish without a trace. Someone possessed both the power to orchestrate Celina's disappearance and the motivation to protect an identity that remains hidden after 25 years of investigation. This wasn't just about hiding an inconvenient pregnancy. The baby's paternity held secrets so dangerous that someone chose permanent silence over eventual exposure. 25 years of silence. What kind of secret stays buried for over 2 decades? And why are people still protecting it today? 25 years have passed since Celina Mays vanished from her bedroom, yet the case remains as mysterious as it was on that December morning in 1996. Detective Monika Pogorzelski now leads the investigation for the Willingboro Police Department, and she maintains hope despite the passage of time. "We remain hopeful that Celina and her child may be alive," she stated, acknowledging both the ongoing nature of the case and the possibility that this story might still have a different ending than everyone fears. But what if the most disturbing aspect of this case isn't the disappearance itself, but the coordinated silence that has protected whoever is responsible? The same church members who refused to cooperate in 1996 continue their wall of silence today. Corita Smith, Celina's aunt and the church pastor, still declines to provide information that might help solve her own niece's disappearance. Other Gospel of Christ ministry members follow the same pattern, creating a unified front of non-cooperation that has lasted longer than many marriages. Here's where things get really chilling. Investigation Discovery reported that leadership at the closed-down worship site encouraged other members to avoid cooperating with police. This wasn't just individual reluctance to get involved. Someone actively instructed church members to stay silent about what they knew. That kind of organized obstruction doesn't happen to protect minor embarrassments or personal privacy. It happens when powerful people need to hide devastating secrets. Nori Mays, now 32 years old, has spent her adult life searching for answers about her missing stepsister. She was only 4 when Celina disappeared, but the trauma of that morning shaped her entire existence. Nori has worked with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to clear up rumors and misconceptions about her family while desperately seeking new information about what happened. Her efforts highlight the emotional devastation this case has inflicted on the survivors, who must live with questions that may never be answered. Consider this heartbreaking reality: many of the people who might have provided answers are now dead. C.J. Mays, Celina's father, died in 2019, taking whatever knowledge he possessed to his grave and deepening the tragedy for those still searching for truth. Other family members who lived through those events have also passed away over the years. Each death removes potential witnesses and closes off possible sources of information. The window for getting truth from people who were actually there continues to shrink with each passing year. Could it be possible that time is working in favor of whoever orchestrated Celina's disappearance? The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children created age progression images showing what Celina might look like today. These images have been distributed widely through Walmart, USA Today, and social media platforms to refresh public awareness. Advanced investigative techniques that didn't exist in 1996 have been applied to this case. Yet none of these technological advances have generated any breakthrough leads. The investigation has received over 250 leads throughout the years, with 4 new leads currently under review. Each tip gets investigated and followed up. But none have provided the crucial evidence needed to solve the case. This pattern suggests that the real information remains locked away by people who know exactly what happened but refuse to share it. Some believe the most telling aspect of this case is what hasn't happened over 25 years. No deathbed confessions. No guilty consciences finally speaking up. No family disputes that led to someone breaking ranks and revealing secrets. The silence has remained absolute and coordinated, which indicates either remarkable discipline among the conspirators or ongoing fear that keeps them quiet. The enduring nature of this conspiracy suggests that someone or some group wields enough influence to keep people terrified of speaking the truth, even after a quarter century has passed. But the evidence itself tells a story that no amount of silence can completely erase. The physical details reveal everything about this calculated crime. Celina Mays left behind every possession she owned, vanished 9 months pregnant without a trace, and someone arranged pillows in her bed to fool her family. This wasn't a spontaneous disappearance. Someone with intimate knowledge of the household executed a plan that required access, timing, and complete control over the situation. The truth about that December night remains buried under 25 years of coordinated silence. Church members still refuse to cooperate. Family secrets stay locked away. Someone wields enough power to keep multiple people quiet for decades. If you know anything about Celina Mays or her baby, contact the Willingboro Police Department at 609-877-2200. Local authorities continue investigating this case, hoping Celina and her child might still be alive. And if you want more deep dives into cold cases like this one, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.